Hello, my beautiful peasants, and welcome back to the tavern. I move my stuff around again. I am a chronic stuff mover, camera mover, fusser. I just can't. Anyway, again, but over there. My plan is right here. I'm gonna build a shelf. Plants. Doesn't come up a lot in stream, but I really like plants. And I just think that'd be nice. I recently went to an antique store. This is obviously not antique. I just got this little like dried flower plant thing. It's just super cute. My plan is to grab something new out of like my yard and put it in here after I dry it and kind of just keep adding to it. But I thought it was just the prettiest little thing. That was really cute. Brings me a lot of joy. Let's see. Oh, Aloha and Reaper now have slightly more power. YouTube has finally kind of beefed up their moderators. I don't really know what they can do now, but they can do more than before. So, there you go. We also have custom emojis for YouTube members. I don't have any, you have to pay for them, I know. If you're not a YouTube member, I think it's like $5 a month or something, you can't use them, which is lame. I have no control over that. But you can use them on Discord. There you go. What do we got in here? Yay, Empress, Catfish, Foxy, and our mods. Hello, hello, and Paint. I can watch but not hear. I must say, I thought you couldn't be here. Very good. Where is my fireplace? I'm going to freeze. Amazing. A wee chatty today. I like it. I like it. Also, apparently, I can gift free memberships on YouTube. I can gift up to 10 a month, and I have no control over who they go to. So are you guys ready for the YouTube gods to pick their favorites right now? I have no idea what this is based on. If it's based on like donations, watch time, subscription length, no idea. But I'm gonna do it. But first I'm gonna drink more coffee. It's second coffee time. Alright, let's see if I can do this correctly. I'm gonna be very upset if I pay for memberships for you guys. It's not what I'm trying to do. It says I can do it for free. Alright, you have 10 gift memberships left to send this month. Send 5 now. Free of charge. Okay, YouTube. We're sending them. This really should go to my mods first. It'd be very funny. I know Aloha is already a member, I think, but it should go to Reaper. Reaper got it! Awesome. Reaper got it. I'm very glad. I'm very, very, very glad. Okay, Reaper, you're now a channel member. You can use the emojis. So speaking of these emojis, super cool, super cute. Reaper made them. So yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Empress, it's been forever. I was so bummed out that you didn't see the Angel series I did because it was just sculpting gorgeous black women as angels in 3 different forms. It was so cool. And I was like, Empress would have liked this. And the hair I did was amazing. So yeah. I'm so glad it picked up Reaper. Oh my goodness. I don't know the other people. But you guys now have it. Okay, are we ready for round 2? This is the last time I can do it. 5 more people are gonna get free memberships. It really just means you can use the emojis for free. Alright, these are the last 5. This is it. Until next month. Nobody that I know. If these are all just lurkers, of course, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all for being here. I don't know who you are because you don't talk in the chat, and that's okay. I wouldn't either. And first, I watched the video on Vans. They were so good. Yes, the armor's getting mileage. I'm glad past Mia took the time to make it. Me too, because usually past Mia just makes problems for future Mia. So it's nice when it's the other way around. And then Aloha says, return to the OG camera angle, let's go. Oh, I guess so, huh? How funny. I like it. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't know why you need a fancy pop-up, Reaper. Just how it goes sometimes. Okay, I think we are all set. We can move on to the main event. Yes, okay. So, I am working on Kickstarter Enchanted Architect request. So I ran a Kickstarter this month, still merch. And there was a tier where if you supported, not only to get the collection, you could also make a request, just like Patreon, but through Kickstarter. It's a little different. So this is one of them. This was a very illegal double request, but it was so cool that I was like, fine. They wanted a rabbit folk that was meditating on top of a giant tortoise. And I was like, you know what? The rabbit's going to be so easy. It's really just sculpting the head. The crisscross applesauce pose was diabolical and very hard. But just don't look at it too close. But this has been a lot of fun. So this is one of the requests. And then we're going to work on a brand new one today, which is a mushroom folk chef. How adorable is that? Just occurring to me, like, does he cook with mushrooms? Anyway, don't need to make it weird immediately. Damn, is that me talking? Time to go make lunch. It is lunchtime. I just ate, actually. Was it Mia in the closet, her OG camera angle? Yeah, I was literally in a closet, not just metaphorically. Not metaphorically. Married to a man. Who knows what would happen? Anyway. You stayed put, Mister. Oh, amazing. Okay, so we are sculpting a mushroom folk man. That's right, I'm very funny. I said, do you know the mushroom man? Yeah, I'm very funny. Okay, we are going to delete all this. Boop. Boop. Bam. Just how I start all of my stuff. I do have a reference board here. Let's give it a look. Didn't really grab a ton of references because I didn't feel like I needed them. This kind of got the gist of it. So let's kind of look at them one by one. Chef. So we have two different ways of this. We can go a chef, you know. This has like a pizza board, it looks like, or paddle, and a machete, a ladle, very cute. We can also do more of like a baker. That'd be an option. I love this. What a great pose. Fire genasi, such a good idea. And then obviously mushroomy stuff. Now, we have different sizes of mushroom men. We can do large, small, or medium. This is kind of, yeah, large, medium, large. Anyway, if I could get one of my mods to make a poll in Tavern Chronicles, so you guys can vote on the size of mushroom man. Yes, this is a size matters joke, but no, seriously, do we want small or large? I really don't, not super interested in the medium. Do we want a little guy or do we want a large mushroom man? I'm kind of leaning towards the big guy, but I'm open. I'm very open. Moo's grandpa and pinup mushroom father. Yes, we are sculpted. This would be Moo's grandpa. That makes me think big then. Big guy. Here we go. And I'll have that poll live here as well. Why is it crooked? Why is my life crooked? Anyway. I love the Discord polls because I also get to vote. I'm leaning towards large, so I'm going to vote large. If you want to vote, you need to be part of Discord. I called dibs on poll. No! I'm sorry, Reaper. A low is just too fast. Big seems to give more options as a less simple model. This is true. I can put like way more shit on this guy. Like so many cooking utensils. Hey, Otaka's here. Hi. Stream on mute because work. God, this takes me back to early Mia streams. Just because of the camera angle, or is there something else about it that feels like early stream? Because I like that. New is always worse. New is not ever more better. Oh my gosh. Mushroom beefcake. I do have a big mushroom man already. Looks like large is gonna win. We're all feeling large. Oh, I think the Discord invite is locked to only moderators. Foxy, you can put in a formal complaint. My mods have control over my entire stream elements, which neither one of them have done anything with yet, but they can. So, they can make commands for you guys, they can bring back pulling. Yeah. Complain to them. What's the command to get the Discord link? It just broken. For you. The camera angles, the pole, the reference board. And first, you're right. I feel like I've kind of come full circle in a lot of ways, you know? This is better. I like this better. So my goal is to finish this whole character on stream. Whenever I want to get a lot of work done, I try to move as slow as possible. I know it kind of sounds counterintuitive, but I find more slow is more better. I don't know what's with the broken English today, but it's making me happy. I'm speaking mushroom. Oh, Lau said, actually, no, fuck that. We saw what happened when the commands were open to the public. Yeah, we had one person that was like a self-appointed mod. Yeah. Cries for the loss of mod powers. I can fix that again just to upset you. I think that made it worse. It was great. Mushroom himbo time. No. Everyone likes Catfish's reference. Catfish, you have officially made it to dinner conversation when because my husband's never on Discord, ever. Even though he's Mr. M3DM. And so I have several times now, I have told him about your antics over dinner, and I just thought that would bring you some weird joy to know that people are talking about you over dinner. Specifically the day that we made, I made a whole channel just to put you in, the fish tank. So stupid. It brought me a lot of joy. So you made it to dinner. I've actually talked about all of y'all at some point over dinner. Okay, enough blabbing. I'm just excited and working slow. We're gonna start sculpting this guy. We're gonna go with big boy. Have you tried going mad without power? I like your style. All right. Aloha / Reaper, if either, you know what, never mind. I'm gonna say something. I'm not gonna say that. Make another poll. I want a poll deciding what kind of chef this is gonna be. There's like a baker and a chef. I don't know of any other types of cooks. Not very creative, I guess. If you can think of more options, great. But I want to narrow it down whether it's going to be more like a pastry chef or like a classic, you know, like with the paddle and the machete and the other cook. What else do you do other than chop? All right, we're going to go with big guy up front. I do like the vibe of this one though. So I'm going to put these ones up top. Very good. All right, we're going to have this little reference board live on my screen. And instead of raging over ZBrush putting up these stupid pop-ups, I have just made it part of my routine that when I start ZBrush, I force the pop-ups right away. What do you know? And now it doesn't bother me so much. One more pop-up. Done. All right. I'm in such a good mood. And I'm really excited. I really liked Empress's comment, just being like, this feels like old stream. Not that new stream is bad, it's just, I think things come in a cycle, you know? It's a good sign when they kind of double back on themselves. You talk to the man in the basement about us? I do. A sous chef. Isn't that like just a side chef? Just a not head chef? Right? Or is that the head chef? Is that the CEO chef? It's occurring to me I don't know anything about cook. Okay. Thank you guys for that poll. He is going to be large. And now we have another one. What kind of chef is this? Baker, chef, sous chef. Apparently everyone else knows what this is. I'm gonna go with chef. But I'm open. Yeah, it's second in command. How would I sculpt the second in command? What is it? Is it a different kind of hat? Who put a butt in the Discord? This is why I can't... That's why I can't have the Discord open all the time. Bad peasant. All right, we're gonna start sculpting. All right, we're gonna set a timer for 15 minutes and we're gonna do stuff. All right, peasants, be good, because I'm gonna be ignoring you now. So the way that I start is with a sphere, good old sphere. And we're gonna use this to block out our proportions. If you're gonna have a big, tall character, you want a little head. It's a really common misconception. My students are like, ooh, big Godzilla-like character, giant head. Yes, but proportionally, no. Proportionally, small. All right, that's gonna be its torso, butt. He's kind of got these little stumpy legs proportionally. Lots of torso. So we're actually gonna merge this down. We're gonna do 2 units worth of torso. And you can really just make your art this simple and measured. Why is this so big? Let's unify this down. When you Dynamesh at 40 and it's still pretty high resolution, that's a bad sign. Just letting you know. There we go. That's better. All right. That funny little butt. We're gonna keep that. Broad chest, and any good cook has got a belly. Let's be real. Very good. I'm not gonna give him a neck because I love the idea of having a beard of some sort. Bonus points if there's little things growing in it. It needs to be a mushroom man, so I'll figure that out. Here is one leg. I'm gonna kind of go with a bit more of a bow leg here. Nope, mirror and weld. Okay, the thighs are too big. If the thighs are too big and they touch, it becomes one mega thigh, and I don't want that. We will chunk up the thighs later. For now, I need the space. Very good. Let's go ahead and duplicate this again. That was my headphones doing their little song of death in my ears, and it spooked me because I'm very easily spooked. All right. I don't know how I want to do his feet. I don't want this just to be a man with a mushroom head. I do want this to be mushroomy throughout. I think that these proportions for the legs are going to work quite well for the arms, so I'm just gonna. Cute. Oh, Michelin man, this is gonna be great. I'm already very entertained by this. Good Lord. So I have a hand face mesh that I made quite some time ago. I shared this on Discord for free. If you want it, search for it. But this hand's gonna be perfect for our character. Are my mods just chatting, or is there something important? Hi, bam. No. Is there anything new in stream elements? I don't think so. I guess I can trust if you guys don't ping me, I'm fine. All right, very cute, very cute. Oh, that's backwards. So the thumbs go on the inside. Pro tip. Oh my goodness, headphones, stop singing your little song of death. It spooks me every time. It's just like this really aggressive, like doot, but like really high pitched, and I hate it. All right, I took off the top part of his digit there. That looks better. Mirror and weld. There's gonna be an elbow in there somewhere. There we go. I'm gonna grab Move Topological to kind of scoop this around. Excellent. I want a lot of volume here and a lot to kind of play with because I'm gonna be making a pretty lumpy body and then balancing that with the clothing. I'm gonna go in with my soft brush and kind of start adding some volume here. His belly is great, but it doesn't have any gravity. Let's give it some gravity. It's not going to be so round like a pregnant belly. It's going to be a little flatter. There we are. Very nice. I'm going to Dynamesh these limbs pretty early on because I'm really just going to be obsessed with shape and volume. I think I have to give him a neck, but realistically, he's just gonna have this big beard. If you were gonna sing your song of death the whole time, I'm gonna banish you. Okay. Really should have charged this ahead of time. That's okay. I'm gonna duplicate the head, turn on symmetry, and I'm gonna start creating this beard shape. Which I realize, I don't know, isn't that an issue for a chef to have a big old beard? Nah. There's that. And then I'm going to duplicate this again. One of the most important parts when you're sculpting a beard is not just to make it one big blob. You're gonna wanna have like a mustache still. And it really just helps break the whole thing apart. There we go. And then the hat is gonna be so important. So let's see where this poll is at. We have 5 votes for baker and 2 votes for chef. So we'll go with more like pastry based things. I think that would be enjoyable. Empress, that's so funny. I love it. That's how I want to detail the face here. Beard reminds me of this guy. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. We're gonna flatten the sides of his head a little bit here and kind of add, you know, a face plane, even though it's just gonna be a mushroom. We need a hat that's gonna read both mushroom and baked goodness. So, oh my goodness, this is gonna work perfect. Because this is kind of like a baking hat. It's kind of like the slouched over, so we'll make it a big mushroom on top. Did you guys know that the, okay, you're getting banished. You need to stop singing your song of death. That is so annoying. It's like the microwave beeping at me. All right, it's off. This is just for decoration now. Okay, so like the big tall hat with all the pleats, apparently it's supposed to represent like how many different ways you can cook an egg. So they'll add like a new pleat every time they learn a new way to cook an egg. Hence why there's hundreds of those pleats, because eggs are very versatile. The more you know. Why is Stream Elements calling me mom? What are my mods doing? No. I like complain that the mods, I'm like, they're not like doing anything to Stream Elements, even though they can. This is not what I meant. I meant like community engagement, not my bot calling me mummy. If I get blamed for that. It wasn't you? Oh my god, it was Reaper. Okay, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, hats. To think that I gave Reaper more power first. Crazy. All right, we're making a hat. So I'm gonna reference this hat pretty closely here. That was really funny. Also very annoying. I can't stop thinking about it. It's so funny. All right, we're making this little chef hat. And then looking at the shape, it kind of tapers. So we'll do the same thing. Let's stretch this up. Taper. Very good. And then we'll do a little tilt here. Excellent. This is not looking like a mushroom man or a chef right now, and that's okay. And let's grab this, a sphere. Yeah, I thought about reaching out to the guy who requested this on Kickstarter, and I was like, I don't know if he's been on streams before. I don't want to scare him. I feel like some people, like, they lose their mind when they see their stuff, their request sculpted, if they're not familiar with what the process looks like. Because it takes some trust, you know? This already looks kind of like a mushroom. Brilliant. All right, added some volume here, and now I want it to be dramatic. So I'm gonna go to the underside here, and we're gonna add these like what are those things called underneath this side of a mushroom? Like those little ribs, those little fins. Here we go. Just that. Perfect. And now I'm gonna grab my move brush. Large hat. Without losing the shape. This is where it's gonna be kind of challenging, because the proportions of this are what make it look chefy. And baker hats already look kind of dumb. No hate to bakers. But making this look like a mushroom is going to be kind of challenging. Ooh, you know what we could do? Is on the side of this hat, on this band, we can add those wall mushrooms. Oh, it's going to be so cool. All right, I'm going to duplicate this. Shrink, stretch. Oh, hell yeah. It might look best on the other side because we already have some like of that volume happening there. I don't think so though. We'll do this initially and then I'll kind of see what I like. So how has it not been 15 minutes? I set a timer to let myself block this out in 15 minutes. And surprisingly, it hasn't been 15 minutes yet. All right, for the face, I'm gonna want pretty simple forms here. I don't want him looking like sad either. Oh, I love my job. Okay. All right, what's going on with this volume? Let's cut the back of that off, delete hidden, close holes. Very nice. And let's add a little bit more volume to the whole thing. Dynamesh one more time. Beautiful. Now I use my move brush. See, now he looks like a pizza chef, right? What kind of mustache would a baker have? I don't know. I don't have a mustache, nor am I a baker. I mean, I bake. I can use this to kind of create like a pseudo smile. This is a little harder to do when there isn't a nose. Interesting. This is not nearly large enough. I want it to be ridiculous. Stretch. Stretch. Oh, I have 2 minutes left. Okay. I want a fun shape. More. Always more. And then we're gonna merge the wall mushrooms down with the band of the hat. I'm gonna duplicate that little wall mushroom shape because I might use it in a bunch of other places. We're gonna lower the hat. It kind of looks like Santa now. We're gonna lower the hat. And there we are. And then his head is way too big. This happens all the time. So all I'm going to do is merge these pieces down. Because we're losing that sense of size. So let's scroll back up here. Make the head smaller. There we go. And something that's going to help too is having the head kind of lower on the body. Probably going to give him more of a hunched appearance. Oh, I'm cooking. I got plans. Oh, he has no legs now. Gonna make a separate subtool here to kind of find the volumes. He's gonna have a bit of a double butt going on, and that's fine. How do I make these taller? I want him to be a baker, but I also want him to be able to like throw people out on their ass if they're being rude. That's a look. There we go. Oh, this is infinitely silly already. I like it. Oh, there's 15 minutes. Okay, let's kind of see what we got so far. And I can check back in with you guys. Not bad for a 15-minute sketch. Oh my goodness. Oh great, now Stream Elements pings me too. Thank you. That's one way to get her attention. Yes. Emperor says, if I had control over my own knowledge reaction, I'm sure I know the mushroom looks just like this. That'd be the gills, I believe. I think you're correct. Oh my goodness. There's now a command to insult Aloha. Great. In a way, pizza is a baking. This is true. Hello, non-sleeper. Welcome in. As always, you're amazing. Oh, you're so sweet. Pay bills and I can still have fun thanks to M3DM. That's high praise. Thank you. Fun is the best way to live. It's true. I love the silly vibes we have being posted up here. Makes me very happy. Good, good, good. Excellent. All right, I think this is going pretty darn good. I am going to blow my nose and then come right back. I'll be right back. Small break. I'm back, and much less snotty. Okay, let us continue. Hey, Just Slinkle is here. Hello, hello. We are making a mushroom folk chef, and it's already going swimmingly. What is next? What is next? I need to give him clothes, it would seem. I want to go kind of like a... I don't want it to be very clean. I don't want it to be like Mushroom Man just wearing an apron and a hat. I want it to be more like this, like a ghillie suit almost. Very obnoxious, super heavily layered. It'll be good. Oh my goodness. Hello, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. It's okay, they'll figure it out. All right, and we continue. I'm gonna set another 15 minutes and try to get this, get some magic going here. Stop having my bot call me mom. Aloha. Oh, you're probably doing other things too. But if you don't, get in there, fix that. Can the clothes be old furs from decomposing carrion? That is such a good idea. Perhaps. Perhaps. I need to walk the line between looking more like a shaman than a cook, but very close. Absolutely. That's a great idea. What is an apron but a chef's tabard? You guys are funny. All right, this is where one of my favorite parts of the model where I kind of have this rough block out, and now it's time to take the primary shapes and make them secondary shapes. So don't think details, just think, God, I'm like, as I get better, I feel like I'm worse at explaining stuff sometimes. You can't like detail something until that form has had a lot more love, right? Like imagine that you just had a sphere and then put like skin pores all over it. It just looks like a weirdly holy sphere. You don't want that. You gotta add like facial features, like the eyes, the nose, the lips, that kind of stuff. So right now we kind of just had that blob. We're not too much farther from a sphere right now. So we don't want to put super heavy details and like little leaf details or stuff like that. We want secondary forms. It's that in between. And honestly, it is the most important part. I used to say it was the primary, but now I'm kind of like, secondary is what makes it interesting though. So yeah. What is the scale for this guy? How tall in American units? 1 refrigerator. All right, I'm gonna take my build up brush and just start adding shapes. I'm gonna have a pretty high intensity, and this is one of my favorite parts. It's just what I call make it messy, essentially. Whenever I like a shape, I'll just take it and I'll duplicate it and I'll move it around. And I really want this beard to be a bit of a moment. Why do I have different subtools? It just makes it easier to control. I'm gonna need some wall mushrooms in here. Duplicate, mirror. It's gonna be very, very important that this is quite asymmetrical as well. That's gonna be an easy win right there. Let's duplicate. So things I consider easy wins. Add wings, horns, or dramatic shoulders. It's just an easy win. I'm going to bump up the contrast, maybe. No, I didn't like it. So instead I'm going to auto groups, mirror and weld, and then Dynamesh with groups turned on, so I can keep all my individual pieces. Now with that, I will take my soft brush and start scribbling. Not my soft brush, my build-up brush. That does okay. Something else I've been using a lot recently is my slash brush to kind of build up interesting forms as well. I like this, but it's not very symmetrical. So what I'm gonna do is turn off symmetry, auto groups, grab this one shoulder pad here, duplicate it, and make one very, very large. Okay, we got some shapes now. Good. The hat only has one piece on it. I want some interesting ideas for the hat, guys. I guess that's my job, to be interesting and creative, but you guys are so good at it. Maybe like a big chunk of moss that sits on top. Let's see what that will look like. I'm going to extract with double, accept, delete hidden, and then Dynamesh this at a low resolution, thank you. There we are. It did something. Yeah. Ooh, what if it has a bunch of little mushrooms growing on top of it? I think that would be sweet. So I'm gonna duplicate this again, subdivide a few times, grab snake hook, and we're gonna start creating some little placeholder mushrooms. I pause when I say that because, I'm so bad about sculpting something really rough and think, oh, it's just a placeholder. I don't go back to it. It's not a placeholder. It becomes the final. I actually saw a video title, so I don't know what the video is about, but I'm pretty sure it's about the problem that I'm discussing right now, which is like, you will not go back to it. Just do it right the first time. With that being said, I am not going to do that. We're going to do placeholders. Yes. Just being honest. All right, I'm going to use move and backface mask to add some easy volume here. I really don't want to deal with these hands, and I want silly little hands. I want goofy little hands. Ooh, what's this? Empress says, too long for YouTube chat, but 2 ideas. Ooh. That's a fantastic idea. That's more business. I'm gonna forget about that. So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna pin your comment, and I'm gonna read that again after the stream and think about that. That's fabulous. So I do have little lore scrolls that I have made for the characters that we have deemed like official Tavern models, such as like Maverick and Marty the Mug and Barry the Beer Golem. But a lot of these could be part of that. And I haven't fleshed out the idea a ton, but I am thinking about it. And I'm really glad that you're thinking about it too. All right, more sculpting, kind of roughing out these forms. letting some texture be interesting here. What's really important is kind of signifying where that change is from the forearm to this section here. Tubes, oh, no wonder. I keep selecting everything but buildup, which is the one brush I'm trying to select. There we go. And then there'd be a line here. Roughly. And with a taper. There we go. Just some rubbly shapes. I'm gonna get my pinch brush so it has a bit more of a transition. And then I'm gonna rotate these arms outwards just a touch because I kind of want them to have this like hulking shape. He's definitely going to have a good pose, so I don't need to fuss with this too much. Let's make these hands wider and more curved. There we go. Let's Dynamesh them so they're a bit rough looking. And you guessed it, more scribbles. Got a bit more of a transition point there. Very good. Haven't added any clothes yet. We haven't really needed to, but we're getting to that point. All right. Kind of roughly figuring out like almost like the pecs. I laugh though because it's a mushroom man, so a lot of this is going to be kind of just made up. There we go. Kind of fixing our weird crotchal region problem here. And obviously he's going to have clothes, so we're not going to have a butt, but in important tabard lore, there will be a little butt, just for now. Kind of a funny little droopy butt. I don't know why these are so far apart. There we go. I do like this weird lump right here as well. I'm going to keep that. The reason why I'm detailing the body at all is because I predict a lot of this is actually going to stay somewhat visible through the clothes. There we go. Very nice. And we continue through the legs now. I don't know what kind of feet I want to give him. Would it be too on the nose to give him like literal tree roots? Little tendrily feet. Kind of like bizarre flip-flops. Kind of an easy thing that I like to do when designing creatures is that if I think about it and it makes me smile, it's probably a good idea to explore. All right. Yeah, so by weird flip-flops, I mean like having a, you know, very clear big toe and then the rest of the feet all by itself, like this. So big toe kind of curving out this way still. And then little funny feet. I do want to have a remnant of like an arch, I guess. Yeah, like that. I like that. I think that looks really good. Oh, I meant to keep a progress point of every part of the model, but I went a little too far without saving. I need to back up really quick and save that. So let me do that. I haven't even saved this character once. Good job, me. Mushroom folk. chef. I'm gonna call him a chef, but it'll be more like a baker. All right, so we have this lovely fellow here, and then we're gonna jump through my quick saves really quick, all the way to the end. We're gonna grab him right about here. That's a good block out stage. All right, I'm going to merge visible, and we're gonna call this stage 1. 2 reasons are we doing this. 1, because I think it's fun to have more clear progress, and 2, if any of my students ever see these models and they're like, I really want to play with this model from stage 1 or stage 2, I want to be able to share those stages with them. Here we go. So we have stage 1, which was almost 15 minutes. And here is our stage 2. I'm doing it. This looks really good. Yes. Even though he still has no clothes. How often do I say I'm gonna do something on stream and then I like don't do it for a half hour? I don't know how you guys, I would go insane if I watched me. Thanks for hanging out. A lot happens still, just not the thing I said I was going to do. I really want something reminiscent of like a staff, but it's a cooking utensil. So he can be proportionally very large, right? But what if he was kind of small? What if this character was only the size of like a ladle, like a soup ladle? And so his staff was just a giant soup ladle. How cute would that be? Ooh, I like that idea. I think that would be really cute. I might do that. You know, I've recently created a staff for another character that might fit this really well. It's obviously not a cooking ingredient, but I can fix that. Yeah, I feel like this staff fits this quite well. So I'm just gonna put this here. Whether I use it or not, it just kind of feels right. Ooh, I have an idea. Something really cool. Wow. So many sentences in my head, all trying to come out at once. I can only say one at a time. If you guys could just have a transcript of my internal thoughts, that'd be great, but oh well. What I'm going to do is create a hanging moss-like effect. And to block that out, I'm simply going to duplicate this hat right here, take snake hook, turn off symmetry, and then I can, with Sculptris Pro, and I can start kind of playing with what that shape would look like. And the best part is I'm not losing the hat. The hat is still going to be there and untouched. See, that's why it's 2 different subtools. I'm going to make this a little smaller. There we go. All right, and let's see. And again, I don't want it looking like ooze so much. Oh, that's my 15-minute timer. Can I do a good job at exploring this idea somewhat quickly? I think I can. I think I can do it in like 30 seconds. All right, it's not far enough. It needs to be really close to the edge. Kind of like this really cool layered effect. Oh yeah. Does it look like ooze? Yeah, it does. But I will do stuff with it later, and maybe it will look less oozy. But right now, it's just too cool of an idea not to throw down really quick. All right, there we go. Now I can see what you guys are up to. How is it going? Hello, hello. Oh, someone new subscribed. Thank you so much. Bon Dijon. Like the mustard? Dijon mustard? Or is that a last name? I don't think it's a last name. Thank you. Empress says, I remember back in the day, it took me 500 years to put that brush in her UI. You're right. The big spoon is also great. Yes. Cooking staff, the long pizza paddle, that would work perfectly. Yes. Yes. The mas has muchos umami. When Delia says, is sourdough the one that requires a special mold? If so, sourdough loafers would be funny for the shoes. Super funny because one, loafers are a kind of shoe. Sourdough loaf obviously is a bread, and moldy like a mushroom. Beautiful. Everything about that was great. Just Lingual says he stirs the stream like a pot of soup, infusing magical flavor into the water until the party can walk on the water. That'd be very cool. Oh, then Bond says, no, like the mustard. I love that. Also, welcome to the chat. He seems like a kindly ferryman until you realize you can only walk on water if you walk towards his tavern/restaurant. I think you just made this a full Tavern Chronicle character, just Lingual, just with that. That is so funny. Like, he just aggressively, where's a pen? He's just aggressively bringing you to his restaurant. We need to sculpt the restaurant at some point. Okay, guys, chat, very important. What is this guy's name? He is a mushroom folk chef/baker. I'm loose on that. And he has his own restaurant. A tavern, perhaps. But he needs a name. What's it going to be? And you keep saying walk on water, but really I think it'd be walking on a swamp, like a marsh, right? And it'd be cool that he enchants you so that as you're walking across this marsh, you're not so much walking on water as opposed to there's like lichen and moss. It's like intertwining and supporting your weight. How cool would that be? Or like lily pads just magically come over and come under your feet. All right, enchants you to walk on marsh, but only in the direction of his restaurant, tavern, cafe. There's gonna be a fun word for that. I'm gonna say cafe for now, even though it definitely wouldn't be a cafe. Can you place Mini Moo on Grandpa Moo's shoulder? Yes, I can. Grunkle Moo is hilarious. Also, who doesn't love that? Because I watched so much Gravity Falls when I was really, really sick. And it was kind of a fever dream. But the show was fantastic. And I'm really grateful for that because I felt really bad. Mycelium Ramsey. Mike Cook. These are all fantastic, guys. I'm going to let you guys fight it out in the chat of what you think is going to win. Aloha, feel free to put that in a poll in Discord, all of the best options. Yay, it reminds me of these mushroom guys from Baldur's Gate 3. Thank you, because I adore really any of the art direction in Baldur's Gate 3, so that's high praise. Thank you. Alrighty, and we continue. But first, coffee. The pizza paddle is a good idea. We're gonna do that. You guys are so creative. It makes my job that's already pretty awesome, even more fun. Thank you. I'm going to keep this just the way it is, but then attach a paddle behind it because I think it'd be a really interesting detail. Not a cylinder. That's not paddle shaped. I'm going to construct this pizza paddle really quickly, not with a timer or anything, while we kind of talk about the name and the lore here. I'm going to make this somewhat skinny, divide a few times to round off the edges, and then Dynamesh. Now that I have a piece, the plank here, we're going to detail it. My favorite way to do that is just grabbing Orb's cracks and kind of roughing out a wood pattern. In this case, this would be the secondary forms, and then I go over with like a kind of really light, noisy brush, and that would be the tertiary. So dam standard with this alpha right here. Very lightly, ooh, not with Sculptris Pro, very lightly add some noise to this. Bam. All right, we now have a piece of the paddle I'm gonna stretch that up. I'm going to put it in the center of the scene and then keep moving it over. And as I move it, I like to flip the panels back and forth. That way there's a good amount of variation. I think 3 is probably going to be perfect. Unify this, turn on symmetry, and now I can move all of the pieces together. Because it does have a bit of a taper to it, doesn't it? A little bit of a taper. Oops, not reset. Shrink that up. All right, I think that looks pizza paddle-y. I feel like mine looks more like a shovel. Like I see this and I'm like, that's a pizza paddle. And I look at mine and I'm like, that's a really nice shovel. I might have to revisit that later to get the pizza idea through. But my idea was it would kind of just pin itself on here. Oh, I have to sneeze. Okay, we're fine. Something kind of like that. I think the curve in the staff is throwing it off, but it's so fun and whimsy. I think having the ties would help as well. So let me do that really quickly. I do want this to be a little bit larger. Yeah, I'll need to deal with that later. Okay. Here are some really easy ways to do those fabric ties. I'm gonna grab a ring, scoot this over, decimate it down, and then zero mesh by half a bunch until it's like this really like roughed band. There we go. Now that we have one, we will crease the edges. Perfect. And then add some noise to it. Bump up the contrast. That's plenty. Just want something there, kind of rough. What if we flip the staff? Would that be too wonky? Flip it like 180? Or like, I think you might be onto something. Like, ooh, yes. Yes, that already helps. And then I can realize how wavy this is, and that's part of the problem. Ooh, I have some more ideas. I have more ideas. But one thing at a time. All right, let's make it like that. And like this. So you want a little cross, and that'll be your first little piece. Let's shrink it up from the side. Doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you notice like I sculpt very messy, I guess for lack of a better word. It still comes out really nice. It's just about getting the idea down. All right, let's flip that. Make it a little bit smaller. Add another section. There we go, we have some ties right there. I will duplicate it and lower it and put it on the bottom as well, just because I think it's a really nice little detail. I love this. Yes, like that. Yep, you nailed it. Awesome. Thank you, Empress. Let's merge all these down. Excellent. And then I will be adding some mushrooms to this, of course. So I'm just going to duplicate the shoulder pads, the whole entity here. I'm going to grab just this chunk, make it a little bit smaller. Wouldn't it be so cool if I took the time to detail these the first time, so I don't have to replace all of them later? That would be cool, wouldn't it? I'm not going to do that. Stretch that out and move these around. This top piece is fighting me, so it gets deleted. There's one little section. Duplicate, spin, drop. How about right here? Oh, that's cool. Yep, All right, I'm not gonna work on this piece anymore because it's really just a decoration. Awesome. He has a pizza paddle. Do you think this should be curved a little bit more? No. Yes. I love when my students ask me, like, but how do you know what to do next? And I'm like, I don't. I just keep trying stuff until I'm like, I think that's correct. It's a lot of, no. Yes. I think so. All right. There we are. Yeah, Empress for the win. No kidding. Empress says, no problem. I've been watching so much character design stuff and really been taking your lessons to heart. Aw, so my way of giving back. You're very cute. I love that. I love that. Upward spiral. Ooh, we have a name poll going on. All right. People stopped suggesting names, so I got desperate. Great. All right, so what do we got here? Please vote. It is in Tavern Chronicles in our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, ask for an invite, and actually, we'll just put an invite in the chat right now. All right, we have Grunkle Moo, Dave, Mateo Mushroom Miller, Marilyn Shroom Rowe, Gordon Shroomsy, and Montgomery Mushroom III. Personally, Grunkle Moo is killing me. It's so funny. It's not very chefy, I guess, but it doesn't have to be. I have to go with Grunkle Moo. I love that. Thank you, Aloha. Empress says, it's a lot of, does this look right? No? Try again. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Aloha. Extra shout out to Aloha because I said I wanted like this little dedicated stream space. Foxy technically set up the first channel, and then Aloha was like, I can do that, and so they did it. I wanted a spot that felt lower pressure to stream in. So no face cam or anything, just my ZBrush screen, not nearly as structured, right? And so I'd have this. And that's been sitting in Discord for a while, all set up. And I messaged Aloha yesterday being like, hey, can you help me finalize this concept? How would this work? They spent time, they kind of talked with me about it. And then I got everything ready. I was ready to ping Tavern Peasants into the secret stream that would only be in Discord. And I was like, I feel like I'm ready to stream, just on YouTube. So shout out to Aloha for doing extra work. And it obviously mattered because now I'm just doing a full stream. But it is funny how brain works, where I got everything all set up to do a smaller version of my YouTube streams because it felt less intimidating. And then I just did the thing anyway. Jokes aside, really think about that for yourself. If you have a creative hobby and sometimes your goal can't be, I'm just gonna paint a mini. I'm going to just get the base coat on. It's too big. Just make your goal be, I'm going to organize my paints. I'm gonna sit down at a table and think about painting. That still might be too big of a goal. But seriously, smaller goals. You need smaller goals. If you're like, I abandoned all my hobbies and I never get anything done, your goals are too big. Truly. Full stream win. Yes. Aloha, our chat mom, dad. I'm so sorry that I called Aloha a woman for like a month. You transcend gender, Aloha. Let's just go that way. Small part of me dies every time because I'm very careful because I have no idea if you guys are what you are. I can't see you other than just your name. So I always say they because I don't know. It's not about being woke. It's about I don't know. So I go with neutral. For some reason, I called Aloha girl for a long time. I don't know why. It is my shame to bear forever. Oh my god. Aloha says, hey, it doesn't matter to me. You are creative and brain doesn't always make logical sense when it comes to getting you on track. This is very true. This is very true. It still haunts me. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. It's okay. Thank you guys for voting. I appreciate it. Ooh, did someone join the Discord? Just so they could vote? Or they're saying hi to someone new? Oh yes, saying hi to No soy horchata. So, I am not horchata. Okay. This is going really good. I need to take a 5-minute break to kind of re-screw on my brain, maybe get a snack, and I'll come back. How about 5 minutes or so? 20 people, holy crap. How long have we had 20 people here? For most, I did not realize how many people are here. Hello, that's really exciting. I'm honored. Also, I'm going on break. Grab a drink, grab a snack, do break things. And I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. And we're back. I have ditched my AirPods, or not AirPods, my earphones, which are complaining the whole time they're dying, so we just have AirPods for music today. Except not listening to music, I'm just listening to rain. I can be more fun than that. Mirth and Mayhem Chapter 2 has been one of my favorite things to listen to on Spotify. Highly recommend. Alrighty, let's go. Oh my goodness. I have to read this bit from the Discord first because it's so stupid. So, Catfish, one of our resident problem peasants, put in a silly name request, and then Reaper threatened the thing flogged. And Ron Swanson's mustache came up with this ridiculous comment, which is, lemon loaf with a good cup of hot black coffee before getting flogged. Not a bad way to go down. There are so many references and jokes within our Discord in that one sentence, run-on sentence. Very good. All right. Okay, and thank you, Aloha, so much for being a member for 13 months. Aloha was our very first member and really a big part of why and how the Tavern became what it is today, which is very fun. So, yeah. All right. I think we're ready. Time to do the thing. It's only been an hour, so we got lots of stream left. I am going to start providing these files for any students that would like them. So, because right now I have this really cool thing where I have this stage 1 and then I have stage 2. And there's so much you can do and jump off points here. And it's a lot less intimidating than just trying to sculpt it all yourself, right? Reaper, what do you need? Yeah, I need help. What do you need help with, hon? I got you. Stage 2. All right, and we continue. Let's do a better kind of before and after here. All right, we got our stage 1. And we got our stage 2. Wow, what an improvement. Heck yeah. And now we'll be working on stage 3 right here. My human model looks weird. Tiny Glade win. Probably this Friday. All right. Also, I don't know if you guys understand how happy it makes me when you guys recommend games for me to play on stream. I've only streamed once, and I played Peak with Aloha and Just Lingual, and I had a great time, other than my heart rate being like 140 the whole time because I'm a spaz. And very afraid of heights. I'm really noticing that recently. Anyway, Foxy recommended a game, Wildermyth, which I've had on my wish list forever. Aloha made a whole list, and there's just been a few people that have messaged me and be like, hey, you should stream this game, you should stream this game. And I don't know, it makes me very, very happy. It does. Okay, moving on. Let me do a little bit of an art illingual. Stop it. A little art detour here. Because this is translating 3D and 2D, which I'm getting pretty good at. So let's see what the problem is, really quick. All right, so we have our lovely Reaper here who is working on this human model, which is obviously scary and not the charm of your sketch. Really common problem. So when you're going from 2D to 3D, it's almost the same problem of like when you ink your sketch. What makes for a good ink? Line weight variation. What makes for a good 2D to 3D model? You don't have line weight variation, right? There's no line at all. It's a similar concept though, and it's that subtlety in the changes of the planes, okay? And I already know it's gonna be your problem. So here is your sketch. And you have very subtle bends right here to denote the different planes, right? So the cheekbone, and even right here, it's slightly concave before it comes to the chin. Very subtle. You did an especially good job when it comes to the arms right here, these little bends. Really pay attention to that. Because on your model here, they're not communicating the same information at all. One, your proportions are a bit different. I'm not concerned about the head and stuff. But right here especially, this is a good one. the jaw. So the width of the jaw, or the chin right here, versus this little line right here. Can you guys understand what I'm saying? Draw a picture, Mia. How about we draw a picture? We have a line here. I'll make that in red. And then we have another line here, which I will make in pink. Wow, it's the same damn color, blue. That change of plane is very sensitive, and it's similarly sensitive to here, this line. All of these lines and planes are different in their 3D versus your 2D. Now, there's one other big issue I'll get to in a second. So the placement here, she has a much softer face in the sketch right here versus how harsh this is. Another huge issue is your features are not wrapping in 3D. The corners of the mouth here are completely flat. So it's like if I take my mouth, can I do that? Like it's, I can't do it. I tried to break my face. Obviously the corner of my mouth is deeper set, right? So the way that you're drawing this is as if the face is, the lips are completely flat. And that's kind of the same problem you have with the eyes. It's kind of creating the uncanny valley because my eye here comes back deeper because that's my eyebrow socket, right? So this is a deeper point. These kind of line up. From the front, it looks like they're flat, obviously, and they kind of are, but there is a wrapping effect, and you don't have that here. Also, this line that you put here, I just wouldn't do that. I understand why you're doing it, because it's the brow ridge. Make it way softer, way softer. And then the actual eye shape itself is a bit off as well compared to your sketch. They're similar, but not quite. The eyes are much larger here. You might want to go with just no pupils initially. That's another thing that's hard in 3D is until you color the face, it tends to look a little disturbing regardless. Those are the biggest issues. Again, so your plane change information is not the same. And 2, your features are not wrapping across the face. They are just stuck on flat. That help a little bit? A little bit of information? This is also weird. I know, you know that's different. Look at like the slope of my shoulder here. I know you know this already. That's why I'm like, you know this. The way the neck sits is also kind of odd. Stylized or not, it's odd. I also can't tell if you have perspective on or off, but that can also make the face look a little more challenging. Adding eyebrows sooner than later, just do it. It's gonna help you as well. The nose is more downturned here versus in your sketch is a little more upturned. And then the amount you have the nose extruded is quite severe. You gotta really know the planes of the face when you sculpt in 3D. It's very punishing, but you can do it. So I have to make this line way skinnier. The bridge of the nose, right? And then on the sides here, we have another plane. I'm just gonna go for a really simple shape here, just to make it really obvious. There we go. And then last but not least, we'll just make, there we go. So this is the basic planes of the nose, right? This plane here, your pink plane, is too tucked in. It'd be a little bit more gradual of a transition point, even in a stylized style. So that's part of it. The severeness of the bridge is kind of weird. And then the eye, another important thing you want to notice with the eye is making the tear ducts a little more prominent. Again, we're not making it realistic. We're not making it, you know, I'll say 3D. We are making it 3D. We're not making it hyper realistic, but it has the same like turning points. So for the eye is this point, and this point. And it kind of makes this little triangle, and you can kind of actually track the shape of that triangle to make a character cuter or more serious, whether it's a really elongated triangle or a really big triangle. Anyway, it's a cue that I use. So that's kind of odd too. Anyway, so making those plane changes a little more obvious as well, because right now you have this kind of one big perfect swoop, which is more like the picture of an eye versus the actual forms of an eye. So I would make this turning point when it comes here more pronounced. All right, bunch of information. That's gonna give you somewhere to start. Why can't 3D be like 2D and be flat like my ass? Yeah, faces are hard. It's a lot of slight tweaks. Oh goodness, it is so slight. I was gonna give my mod an annoying goose hunt to do, but instead I'm gonna do it for myself. I'm gonna show you something that's gonna help and be interesting to viewers at the same time. I know you guys are having fun, but sometimes it's easier to see this stuff realized as opposed to just theory. Everything that I criticized in Reaper's interpretation of 3D are mistakes that I have done and had to study immensely to fix. So, let me show you what that looks like when it's done correctly. This is very stylized, but here we go. I have so many monitors. All right, this is for my spicy series, and this is when I was learning face planes as well. Let's get this zoomed in. All right, these two faces, other than this one being larger and closer to you, why does it look better? It's because are you serious, Eagle? Go away. It's because the planes of the face aren't all fucked up. So it's very subtle, but just look at these two and really think about why one looks better than the other. I'll sit here for a second and drink some water. And it's not, the answer here is not, well, it's really up to your taste which one you like more. No. One of them has busted bones in their face and one of them is healed. The one on the right is better objectively all the way through. If you scroll to the right, I stylize it more. You could pick one or the other based on your preference. The left one is not an answer here. Okay. What draws most people's attention is they will see there's a clearer line like on the nose, for example, or on the lips, and they're like, that's why it looks better. Not quite. I have it a little more exaggerated here because I got more confident on where the planes are, but they're just more correct. The biggest thing here is notice the volume of the cheeks. So, in this one here, I have a much more clear line that comes here, and I respect this plane. That plane here actually exists. That's the biggest change of why these two look, one looks better than the other. On this one, this plane decided to stretch, oh God, it wraps all the way around and it pushes out here. So what happens is when I tried to make this jawline here, I'll do it in blue, it actually spilled out into the face and kind of created this like pulling effect, which is wrong. Just objectively, not just stylistically. Because if you look at the models, the curvature and the information that's here is actually very similar. I really tried hard to not change the face just to improve it. Also, that's why the eyes are slightly improved, because I just did the picture of an eye, which is, you know, like rainbow, happy face. That's not what an eye is. So I have much more clear turns right here. You can see each one of these dots, I'll make them bigger. At each one of these dots, there's a very, very clear plane change. See that? Does that make sense? Versus this, which is almost completely smooth. There's almost no plane change there. I hope that helps, seeing this in another example where I pretty much didn't change the face. Once you understand this, you can make all kinds of different faces. And that's why I made this like really stylized one where I made her eyes huge and I pulled up her jawline a little bit. But all the planes are the same. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that helped. It's fun for me to explain because it's still hard for me to do, but I know what I'm doing wrong now. Cool. I really enjoy doing little deep dives like that. It kind of breaks up the stream for me too. Good stuff, good stuff. Just laughing about dumb stuff in our Discord. Okay. Let's bring back Eagle. There it is. You are no longer banished. Too long, didn't read. Get good. Pretty much. You have to be perfect. When it comes to planes of the face, it is very difficult. It is so difficult. If you tried making like an old man, I find those to be less punishing. Trying to make a middle-aged woman is so difficult. So difficult. I like this one the most, so this is going to be my little inspo. I would like if it showed more than one picture though. There we go. I'm so smart. Me complaining about problems, and I'm like, I think there's a solution for that. Tries it all. There we are. Great. All right, let's think about what's next. He's missing clothes, and he doesn't have a base. Those are two big non-negotiables. Let's fix one of those. That one, I think, is going to work pretty well. This one will be even better. And then I'll add some mushrooms to it after the fact. Go to append, grab that base, unify, and flip it around. Delete, zoom in. Sweet. And when I get to this point of a model where I'm kind of like not sure what to work on next, just think of what makes the biggest difference. I can't have a mini without a base. So here we go. Base. I don't care about how well he fits on the base or anything like that. Just bam. Now there's a base. Big check. 2, he's naked. That's a bigger problem. So the number one important denoter that he's like a cook of some sort will be this apron. So let's work on that. And then Paint says, Mia, I just got the collector's crate. Did you really? You're our second person. That's very exciting. Sean's is our first. That's so exciting. I love that. We're going to stuff so much stuff in there. I don't want to raise your expectations too much, guys, but so I sell boxes of minis. There we go. So you know what's happening. You get a Taver pet, and you know what Taver pet that is. And then I say, like, oh, I put 2 characters in there. More. We're putting as much as possible. That way, even if things break, you get so much shit in there, like it's not a big deal. If you guys saw what happened to Sean's box, the post office like absolutely destroyed it. Anyway, it'll be fine. That's so exciting. Thank you, Paint. I really appreciate that. Let's see. And then Paint also messaged me saying, I can't model for a bit. Would you be able to help me teach things like presentation, making my models look good online or for branding? Heck yeah, I can. Send me questions. Like you can have 10 questions, but just number them. And what I'll do is every stream, I'll pick a question and do a deep dive specific to you, but also I'll bring Ricky in here and we'll show you how we do our graphics. And that way everyone on stream can see it, but I'll tailor it to your style and the way you do things. It'll be a good time. That's so exciting. Thank you, thank you. Let's take up a collection so Mia can form a nice 3D butt for Reaper. I've always dreamed of getting a proper bubble butt. Wow, things that I wouldn't expect Reaper to say for $1,000. Goodness. Did you guys know that it's snowing here right now where I live? I live in East Tennessee, and it's snowing in March. It's odd. It's really odd, guys. Anyway, I did want to put a link because I haven't talked about the collector's crate at all. I haven't really even advertised it. But it'd be a fun thing to share with you guys. My website is fighting me. Be a good website. One moment. Weird. I don't even see my website, Paint. How in the world did you buy stuff? I don't know why the store is like down. That's so weird. I do see your order though. That's super exciting. Ricky's gonna lose his mind over that. We're both really excited about that. Little treat. Anyway, I'll fix that. I'll worry about that later. It's also snowing here. Snow buddies. It's snowing, cries in 100-degree weather, dude, for the rest of the week. You must live somewhere, or I know where you live. Anyway, yeah, my grandparents live in Phoenix, and they said it was like 90-something. Emperor says, I was curious about how you guys render. I can absolutely help you guys with this. We have a Blender scene, too, we can even share. Yeah, we use Blender to render. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, also Paint, really funny. You like broke my website. There's no... Why can't I see my own shop? That's so funny. The link is in the announcement. The link in the announcement. Ah, yes. Very cool. I can't remember whose idea it was to do the Taver pets. Like every month you get Taver pet. I think it was just Lingual. But yes, the Cranky Cat is the current Taver pet of the month. All right, I won't worry about that. There's so many exciting things to talk about. Paint, no. Hey, your list, again, your order went through, but you also broke my website in the midst of it. So my entire website works, except for the shop. I was gonna link it so you guys can see the collector's crate and stuff. And I just can't get over the fact that it doesn't show up anymore. It is funny though. I put a link in the chat, but that's my broken website right now. Again, only the store. Everything else is working. Yes, I'm using the Z-Blender Z-Render tool. That makes me feel better about it. Maybe it's because it's named the wrong thing in M3DM store. I need to not fuss about this when I'm on stream. I'm saying it out loud, so I leave it alone. You guys ever do that when you know that you're kind of stuck on something and you're like, I'm gonna let this go. I will handle this later at a dedicated time for it, and you just will not stop doing it. I don't care if it's neurodivergent problem or whatever it is. I was led to believe that self-awareness fixes a lot of things. Like if you're a spoiled turd, if you're self-aware of that, inherently you're like, oh, no one wants to be spoiled. So I think it makes them a little bit more humble and a little more aware. For like spicy brain stuff, being more self-aware doesn't do anything. It just makes me more annoyed. All right, I'm leaving it alone. What we're doing next, now that we're back on topic, is I'm going to give this mushroom man clothes. The biggest thing is I want him to have an apron. So I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes and we are going to give him some clothes. If you guys have ideas of what kind of clothes to give him, I would love reference pictures in Taver Chronicles on Discord. I'm going to put that public, bam, here. If you guys would like to either vote for the name, which currently it is tied between Grunkle Moo and Gordon Shroomsy, which I used to watch Hell's Kitchen like all the time with my dad, so I'm gonna change my vote to Gordon Shroomsy because I think that's really fun. All right, let's get going. And again, shout out to Paint for breaking my website. Thanks for supporting my art, I guess. It's even funnier because Paint works in IT. All right, this is going to be the drapey part. I'm going to use the bend arc deformer to curve this around the body. Excellent. And kind of snug that up. I don't know how this is going to interact with his belly. I guess the best way is to put it on top. Don't really have a belly to understand this. Work in IT and a cybersecurity specialist. So you hacked my website and broke it. You're also my security problem. Okay. Weird flex, but okay. I think it would look really cool and like tactile is if this was tucked under this initial belly fold, and then there was like a bow or some sort of big, you know, tie that brought it behind him. How do I want to do that? Probably just a ring. Yes. Did I decimate that? I did. Here we go. So I've been doing a lot of models on stream recently where I sculpt from scratch, and I want you guys to know that it is not intentional. I don't know how it keeps happening that way. I really enjoy it though. What I'm trying to say is I still work from a base mesh 99% of the time. Don't feel like you need to be sculpting things from scratch. It doesn't make you special to work in a way that's more difficult. Just do what's fun. Are we gonna leave this butt just out? I don't know, would a mushroom man feel the need to wear underwear? I don't know if they really poop or anything. I feel like they just like gas. I don't need to investigate this. All right, some of these are, it's fun when I get to like a few hours in the stream because obviously I'm not putting all of my like creative thoughts through like a really heavy filter. Otherwise streaming would be exhausting, right? But unfortunately then you get comments like that. I'm still thinking about it. Now I'm just not saying it out loud. I think about all kinds of different things when I sculpt. It's not even about like, oh, what's the ecology of this or whatever. I just, silly stuff of like, how does he breathe? How does he move around? What's his favorite day of the week? What's his favorite number? In this case, what's his favorite food? Like, I feel like it tells me a lot about a person if their favorite day is Monday. That's insane. My favorite day was Monday for a long time. I think it was a coping mechanism. When I was in school, my favorite day of the week was Monday. Probably because there was never a test on Monday. Ever. Something else that's really important is finding what brings you joy when you model. And for me, that's just layers. Tons and tons of layers. There we go. But that just makes me happy. You know what doesn't make me happy? Sculpting accurately. Clean workflows. So I stopped doing them. And that's why Sculptress Pro is my new love. I would marry a Sculptress Pro. It would be my second husband. Should he have a sumo belt? That'd be fun. Oh, heck yeah. Belly reference. Rigged. Yes. Best movie. Everybody that's seen Treasure Planet loves Treasure Planet. All right, what else is happening here? Empress says, Mia, I know you've mentioned it before, but how did you start taking commissions? And how much were you charging? You know I didn't make good decisions in the beginning, right? So we can understand that my answer here should not be followed. Yeah, we're on the same page? Okay. I started taking commissions by simply posting on Reddit, being like, hey, I'm doing commissions. That's it. I posted to like printed minis and stuff. You can't do that now because the rules are just totally different and just the vibe is different. But I just went somewhere like Reddit and Facebook, wherever my audience was, wherever I was already talking to my audience. So if for you that's an Instagram post, that's totally fine. And I charged $10. I charged $10 US. Do not do that. That's freaking ridiculous. And you know what's even worse? For $20, I would print it and send it to you. Yeah. But it was a hobby. It was just like a fun little thing. You should not be charging less than $20 for your commissions, period. If you can't buy like a good full-size pizza with more than one topping, do not even fucking bother. Please, God. And the reason isn't just because of like, oh, your time, blah, blah, blah. The people that pay $10 for a full art commission are the worst. They're so mean. I don't know why they're so terrible, but they are. Take my word for it, because I have a decent sample size of at least like a couple dozen commissions, and every time the cheapies, oh God, they're such assholes. You know what's funny? One of the first tips that I got on a commission, so they paid full price, I finished, and they sent me more money, so a tip, was on a commission I charged like $200 for. They sent me another $50. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Anyway. There's so many different ways to charge for commissions, and a lot of people are like, I don't know, I see these formulas online where they're like, how long does it take? And I'm rolling my eyes because if you're in physical media, I understand. Like if you're crocheting and you use like a skein of yarn, don't sell your commission for cheaper than your skein of yarn because otherwise you're going to lose money just on physical stuff. But the reality is that in the beginning, your stuff might not be that great, and that's okay. But like charging just based on your time when it takes you 3 hours to sculpt a button, it doesn't make sense either. You know what I mean? There's not an easy answer for how much you should charge for your commissions, and anyone that put this little calculator online, they know that too, and they don't mean for anyone to follow it as literally as people do. Yeah. Empress says, same page, $10. I know, I told you, bad. I'm so glad that Ron Swanson's mustache came to the chat just to laugh. Hey, Ron. SoFire says, someone will pay good money for good work. If you think you're charging too much, you're probably not charging enough. Some podcast, I don't remember which. That is a good one. That is good. Okay, back to talking about poop. Just Lingual says, Mia, you already asked, and now we're going to talk about it. I feel like they wear, this guy, some kind of undergarment so they don't spread their spores unintentionally, to be polite and considerate of spores. Oh, I'm going to cry. It's so stupid. I love that. I love that so much. Oh, I gotta write that down. I did not think I'd be talking about mushroom flatulence. It's another word that I can spell and I know what it means and I can write it down, but I've never said it out loud. Farts. Mushroom farts. Did not think that was gonna be on my day today. I'm just gonna write down mushroom fart spores and I'll know what I'm talking about. That might make it to the Tavern scroll. It might not. Oh, and then Just Lingual and Aloha and Empress were helping with the design. I like to write down which peasants had ideas. Very good. Very good. Just Lingual says, mystery boxes are my weakness. Anyways, I just ordered a collector's crate. That's so exciting! Oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the website does work for everyone but me. You know, that's probably not the worst thing. I don't need to see it. I don't have to see it. You're gonna get an angry cat. You and paint. So excited. And then just tons of stuff. As much as we can fit into that box. I'm so excited. So excited. Okay. This isn't happening right now, but we have 2 plans for the mystery crates. 1, within her time and comfort, Reaper is going to be designing Tavern Pet stickers. Within her time and comfort. We're going to start adding those in there. And 2, once we finally buy an air compressor, which we had one in California, but we had to sell it when we moved, I make dice. I make resin dice. So eventually the D20 that we add in the collector's crate will be made by me. And I think that'd be so cool. Just make a bunch of D20s and then throw one in there. Be really cool. So, yeah. It's not happening right now, but in the future. Okay. Also, I haven't heard from Sean's yet. I hope their stuff didn't explode, but I will check that later because I'm currently streaming. Thank you, non-sleeper. Y'all are spoiling me today. Oh my goodness. Goodness. Just on stream? What is that? 25, 50, 55 bucks. That's fantastic. I think the most I ever made hourly was $12 an hour. I usually work stipend jobs. So I would get paid, like when I was a summer supervisor, I worked at the dorms all summer and managed groups. like hundreds and hundreds of children. Yeah, I know, I don't like kids. I got paid $800 for the summer. So about $200 a month. Yeah, don't love that math. Anyway, point is, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I will. I'll keep it up. I'm gonna focus. Don't win the things. I think it'd be cool if maybe it was more like a suspender deal here. So I'm gonna use a masking brush and bend right here. I can't believe we sold 2 collector's crates just today. Ah, it's so exciting. Ricky's gonna lose his mind. Because I don't think this fellow needs a shirt, right? There we go. Let's go ahead and merge these down and I can move them together. Excellent. $12 an hour? You were an engineering student, and engineering internships tend to pay double that alone? Yeah, I was working in outreach. I would teach kids. Why do I have to work with kids so much? Anyway, I was a engineering ambassador. So we'd have kids come in and we teach them concepts like buoyancy or stuff like that with these little experiments. And yeah, it was rough. It was tough. It was not my favorite. Thank you, Reaper. You are international, so the shipping is more expensive, and I'm sorry. I try to keep it as cheap as possible. Just Lingual says, Mia, also my wife makes dice. No kidding. She's really good at it and has recently been making liquid core dice. My favorite of her dice is where she painted koi ponds in layers throughout the dice. That is so cool. Does she sell them? Can you please? I would like to buy dice from her, please, if that's okay. That would liquid core dice. You saw my pupils dilate. I want that. Also, why are you and your wife so cool? Of course your wife makes liquid core dice. Not even surprised anymore. Not even surprised. That's so awesome. What a cool community. Oh my goodness. I haven't bought dice, guys, in like a year. That's so long. I can like, yeah. I've had people buy merchant licenses just, so I have a merchant license on Patreon so people can print my stuff and then sell the physical prints, right? I have someone that's just a dice maker and they put my little minis in dice. And I thought, I've never done it before, but I want to try. I think it's the coolest thing. She really wants to sell them. That's one of her goals for this year. Well, when she does, make sure you put every single like dice drop she does in self-promotion. And maybe message me first because I might want to buy them first and I kind of want dibs. But yes, that'd be really cool. That would be awesome. At this point, it's just an exchange of money. Just like, well, that'd be very funny. Like you buy a collector's crate and then I just buy dice. Like I see a future where I'm like, how about I just send you a box and then you send me dice? Obviously depends how many dice because dice are a lot of work and definitely worth more than $25. But yes. Yeah, I did my best when it comes to international shipping, but oh my goodness, guys, it's so expensive. US shipping is free, but international, I think I had to charge like $10. Just stupid. I feel like Canada should be like the same price. We're on the same continent. It's not even that far. Doesn't even have to go like on a boat or an airplane or anything. Right now I'm kind of just playing with the shape on this hat because I want it to be more fabulous. So what I'm gonna do is merge a couple layers down. Just like that. Very good. Does he need more clothes than this? I kind of think it's hilarious if he only has an apron and then it's just full butt on display. My only issue is that the guy who requested this is on Kickstarter, and I don't know if he knows how silly we are. You gotta have a sense of humor if you want to. Part of M3DM Minis is if you order a model and I have a reason to have a funny little butt on there, it's gonna have a funny little butt. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, Non-Sleeper has the same problem that I do. Yeah, Non-Sleeper, my website's doing the same thing for me too. I'm gonna fix it and I'll let you know, okay? I have the exact same problem right now. I'm not sure why. I think I might have the wrong thing linked in my navigation because everyone else was able to access it through a post. Let me do this 30-second check really quick because I think I know what the problem is, and I'm glad that someone else had it other than me. It's very funny because I built this very complicated website and I can't get a landing page to work. Because you guys said you saw it in the announcement. Here, I gotcha. I gotcha. I know where it's gonna be. I bet the individual listing works. Yep. I got fixed. Just in this one spot. The all caps is too funny. Just, not just single, Non-Sleeper. Ricky, can you help me? I got you the link. There you go. And then Reaper messaged me saying, if you ever need a packer-upper for loot boxes, I'd be happy to help for pennies. We'll need transport though. Yeah, you need to live closer. One day, one day. All right, I think we are all set and we continue. Also, something crazy, like I feel so bad for Sean's getting a weird box initially. Sean's and I knew there's gonna be a problem with the first collector's crate because Sean's lives on the same side of the United States that I do. I'm not gonna dox one of my people. They sent it to Washington first, which is not, I live in East Tennessee. Sean's also lives on the same side of the country that I do. We knew there's gonna be problems. We'll get them taken care of. All right, what's next? There we go. There we are. I'm kind of thinking about like different accessories I can do here in different items, because that's gonna be one of the coolest parts about this is just that he's a chef, right? And that he cooks. So I need a bunch of different little items. So I do have a bunch of items. Let's go shopping. I kind of have a little bit of like a cookbook recipe area over here. I'm looking at the wrong side of it right now. Heck yeah. Thank you, Non-Sleeper. I really, really appreciate that. That's gonna be fun. Man, that's 3 boxes sold in one day. That's insane. Awesome. We'll do a super careful job packing it. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you so much. Who knew? Mystery boxes. You guys are so funny. You're like, no, I don't want to know I'm going to get. That's the fun part. All right, we have a spoon, a carrot. Let's start merging the ones down that we know that we want. All right, we got spoon, carrot. I think a mug could be useful. I have an entire wheel of cheese, which I would love to incorporate somehow. I think a donut might be less fitting. Let's just throw it in there just in case. I can't add it if it's not there. I think a beehive would just be cool to have on the base. Same with a bucket. Candy cane, I don't think so. Candy cane is pushing it. Cheese wheel, platter of cookies. That'd be really cute. This absurdly detailed cupcake that I made. Just Lingual says, Mia is rediscovering that advertising herself helps her business. Yeah, I am. Crazy. I laugh because I give my students the same a hard time about it, and then I do the same thing. You guys are silly. All right, I grabbed a bunch of items from my asset library. Let's see how decorated we can get them. Got all this, the whole little assortment of goodies to add. All right. What I'm gonna do is just duplicate it. I'll have this whole thing, and then I'll just delete one piece at a time for what I want. Definitely having a pocket of some sort would be really smart. So I'm gonna take this, make it smaller, and just like that. Perfect. Now we kind of have a little pocket here, and now I can start filling it with like different ingredients and snacks. Non-sleeper's like, sure does. If we don't know about it, then we can't buy it. Yeah, you're right. Just Lingual says, a cheese wedge could be good. Less than a full wheel, but still a mold food. This is true. So we have sourdough and cheese is like the primary mold foods. What other ideas? This carrot came out so cute. I made this for my, I think I have like a rat folk chef that's also a ranger. That one came out really cute. I'm gonna need to think about a good pose for this character. That's gonna be a little tricky. I think an action pose would be the best. So maybe I won't go too crazy with the decorations here, just in case, depending on the pose, it might cover a lot of this up. That last carrot kind of hid some of the goodness. Let's go ahead and knock some of these down. How's that? There we go. Oh, fruit. Maybe a little grosser to eat moldy fruit. Oh, wine. So far it says, I don't do mystery stuff. My luck just isn't there. I get a kind of egg at lunch so I can leave the office. And then it's like 12 different dinos available. I have like 8 Ankylosaurus out of about 12 eggs. Oh no. I mean, this specific mystery box, like the way I do it, I knew the most desirable thing was a Tavern pet, so that one's just guaranteed. And we never do repeats, ever. If I ever do a repeat of a Tavern pet, it would be like heavily advertised. Like, if you bought in March 2025, do not buy, because you will be getting it again. I get you though. I kind of have the same problem, where I just get duplicates of the same thing. I did that for like a sticker pack for a while. It was an artist I really liked too, but very quickly I was like, I don't want to get the same sticker again. So I hear ya. I think it'd be cute if he was maybe holding the cheese wedge. I think I need to pose this guy. Even though it feels a little early, that's fine. We're going to merge visible. We'll call this stage 3. And let's get a pose on here. So for all my posing in ZBrush, I like to go to Z plugin, Transpose Master, T-Pose Mesh. I know I'm going to have this kind of pizza paddle being held, kind of like a staff or a weapon almost. This character could go from being like a normal NPC to like a combat encounter so fast, and I really like that. Those are my favorite. I like to keep the head pretty straightforward when I'm sculpting this. I call it like the alpha angle. Even though it's a 3D model, you want it looking good from all angles, obviously. But there's one specific one that's kind of like where it's looking, right? And that's how I build the pose around that. So I'm gonna hide the entire head, Command W to polygroup it, Command Shift click that, Command W again. So now I have two pieces, this and the rest of it. So I can take this and rotate. Scoot it over. Just Lingual says, I tend to mix mystery stuff with date night. Mystery models or mystery paints for a painting date, mystery bags at thrift store for a little fashion date, oh, mystery foods for a lunch date. That's so cute. I love that. If the place doesn't make mystery bags, then usually happily oblige for the sake of date. That's awesome. That's really smart too. I didn't even think about that. All right, let's go ahead and hide this and then auto groups. So now I'm going to select one arm at a time. I do want to do this a little differently. The way that you polygroup your stuff when you're in Transpose Master is going to make your life a lot harder or a lot easier. So I like to have my limbs kind of separated early on. So let me go ahead and do that first and make my life a little easier. Here we go. So I got my arms selected now. There's my legs. And now the head. Bam. That was a smarter way of doing that. As I was doing it, I was like, this doesn't seem quite right. So if I'm holding a staff, where does my body weight go? So I shift to the left, kind of lean on it, and then holding a cheese is my thought. Yeah. Rotate that up. There we go. And bend up. It's also why I don't want to detail the body too much, because I knew we were going to get some really weird deformations here. With some clever masking, you can reduce a lot of the tearing and stuff. I find it easier just to like move the things, don't worry about it, and then sculpt it later and make it look good. Bam, good enough. So I'm gonna kind of pitch the belt here, kind of show some movement. And then as a result, I'll do the same thing with that part of the body. I'm also gonna want this all to kind of rotate this way. And then rotate the head. He's got his cheese. To be a little mushroom man with a wheel of cheese. I'm really happy with how his funny little legs turned out. Oh, that'd be cool if you actually could see the suspenders kind of cross over themselves. Oh, this is so silly. Mikey says, I want to see those dice. The ones that I'm going to one day make, the ones that Just Single's wife is already making, or the dice I currently have. There's many dice we can discuss. Ooh, don't want to do that. There we go. All right, I need this part of the model to kind of droop down a little more. And because he's a mushroom man, I can really move whatever I need to, which is great. It's always so hard doing, like, posing this when it's like a suit of armor because nothing swooshes in the wind. And armor is like non-bending. Don't want to have that happen. There we go. Lowering this arm will make it look a little more comfortable. And it'll make the pose a little more dramatic too. Oh good, we're gonna get pictures of this dice. I am excited. And I have cheese in his hand right now, but we might end up going with a loaf of bread. I think that might fit the pizza paddle better too. Just scoot his legs a little bit more. Sometimes I do careful masking, sometimes I just use my move brush and smear things around. If it's taking you forever to pose, you're probably trying to do too good of a job. Move stuff. I like taking my move brush and literally just smearing around the whole character, and sometimes I find something I like more. I kind of like that proportion I just found a little better. Yeah. That's awesome. That's so fun. These straps, I think, are supposed to be more over to the left. So let's do that. I'm gonna grab this and we'll see if we can kind of nudge them over here. Nah, it looks better where it was at. We'll just leave it there. Again, interesting shapes is everything. That's weird. The mushroom band's making it a bit extreme because I can literally push anything anywhere. But I do similar stuff when I'm posing more shape-bound characters. Let's kind of scoot that over. I like this little hip cock moment we got. That's cool. And Leso says, hey there, I got a question. How do you handle the scaling of your models so they can be painted later? on without too much hassle. Mine always feel horrible to paint. Mine are also tricky to paint relative to, like, I don't know, Hero Forge, which is almost like dwarf-like proportions all the time. Two things. Change your stuff from 28mm scale to 32. Another one is when you're done with your model, come over to the contrast slider. I don't know if you use Blender or not, but in ZBrush there's a contrast slider. And when you slide it, it just makes the valleys deeper and the peaks higher. So it just makes the whole thing a little more exaggerated. And that does really, really well for paint and little, crevices to put your stuff. Also making sure when your 3D prints, the exposure is really dialed in correctly. If it's underexposed or overexposed, it's gonna blur out all your details. And last but not least, prime your minis. Make sure you're putting primer before you just straight on paint. It'll grab paint a lot better. Oh, and use a wash. A wash is like talent in a bottle for me. Okay, seriously, having the contrast slider on this, I like this proportion so much more. Oh, how do I do that without my model blowing up? I'll do it carefully, maybe. Not you, not you. Before, after. Big fan of contrast slider. And then you mentioned for scaling, there's only one way to scale it, and it's the correct way, which is foot to eye level, insert number of your scaling. So if they're hunched over, it's not true necessarily, but like for this guy, this is an FDM print, by the way. For this guy here, where's the camera? Boop. That's 28mm scale. So from his foot to his eye level is 28mm. If it's 32mm scale, then foot to eye level 32. Obviously, if they're hunched over, just be cognizant of that. But a 28mm scale is referring to a 6 foot tall man. I guess it doesn't have to be a man, just 6 foot tall human. So yeah. Sounds good, just Lingual. We appreciate you trying. You'll have to tell your wife that we're all excited for her art. And of course, there's no timetable or pressure on that. Just feel the need to mention. That's a great way to make art less fun, is when you think you have to get it done at a certain time. I'm probably just gonna import a fist, but I'm kind of just glomming that hand on there to see if I like this hand placement even being here. Kind of throwing that elbow out a little bit. I'm gonna turn on what I call like silhouette mode. Hold spacebar and make sure your second little square here is black. And then we click V on your keyboard, V for Vixen. It'll change the whole color of the model. So you can kind of use it for this silhouette practice. I'm fine with that. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. I'm glad that was clear, because at first I was like, there was a good answer in there somewhere. Did I get to it? I'm glad you seem to think so. Oh, I love that stretchy face. Oh, this character is so funny. We need to workshop this hat. I keep making it into like a big sun hat almost. The heart's there, but it doesn't make any sense. I think I just need to go with a wide brim hat and stop trying to put this crazy curve on it and just let it be what it's gonna be, you know? I also need this to not be so thick. His face is so far tucked back. I don't know if I like that or not. I probably don't mind it. So it's a straight line right now. Do I want it to be more like that? That? I don't think it's a spooky character, so I don't want to cover his face. So maybe more of like a sun hat thing. Yeah. I want to see his little funny mushroom face. That's better. I'm figuring it out. Let's go ahead and connect his arm back to his body, and then we can broaden his chest just a touch. Kind of make this make sense. We're definitely keeping his funny little butt because now I'm attached to it. It was a joke, but now I feel like I'd be sad if the model didn't have it. I feel like he's got a little bit of like a sway to the whole model. I want to see if I can push that without breaking it. So I'm going to hide everything that shouldn't sway. I'm going to center my gizmo and then maybe try twist and taper and just kind of see what happens. Oh, it's angry because the mesh is partially hidden. Oh, ZBrush. Will you respect a mask in this case? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Ooh, you do respect the mask. Yeah, see, this is the before and this is the after. And I think I can kind of get ZBrush to do some work for me here. He's a mushroom man, so I can really mess with these proportions. How about bend curve? Maybe I'll add some nodes here. Not like that. I should be able to move the whole thing. There we go. Bend curve is not how you pose your models. This is one case scenario. I'm like, wait, I have students watching this. No, this is not how you pose your models. This is just a silly thing that I'm using to push shape and silhouette. Just throwing that out there. Ooh, Just Lingual says, talking about his wife making dice, because dice making and selling dice is one of her goals, I think she plans on making sets over the next week. She seems quite excited. I really like this mini so far. I'm for sure painting him the moment he comes out. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, I think he's really fun. So here's the before, here's the after on that little hit moment. And then I grab move topological to, there we go. Oh my goodness. This is so funny. I am also really happy with this guy. It's definitely a more is more kind of model. I probably won't have time to detail him on stream, but all the most important parts of the model, which is the concept and all the actual shapes, I'm so glad I was able to share with you guys today. Alright. How do I want this arm hip moment to read? It's not uncommon that I will pose a lot of the character and do final shaping with it being black. Very cool. My husband, Just Lingual, please convince me to start making dice again. Ricky wants a new air compressor. Ricky almost got a new air compressor for his birthday, and then we ended up not really doing that. We just kind of chilled and bought some steaks. So technically, that can still happen. Ricky is so low maintenance. For like the week leading up to his birthday, I'm like, hey honey, what do you want to do for your birthday? We can do this, this, or this. And my goodness, this man was just like, He either has grand plans or no plans, and there is no in between. Also, hi honey, thanks for watching my stream and checking in. He's like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. All right, the back of the shoulder would be higher than the front of the shoulder. Not that we're really doing any specific anatomical accuracies with this model. I do want there to be a little bit of a gap right there. It just helps the silhouette read, even if it's just a tiny bit. And let's go ahead and scoot this pizza paddle. Is that what you call this? A pizza paddle? Over, just like that. It'll look better when the hand isn't just like a mangled mess. But we're not there yet. So mangled mess it is. Just needs some shaping. We're just gonna inflate that hand and just scoot it over because it's not, it's just a placeholder. Like actually, I'm not gonna leave that. All right, that's enough. So see how much of the pose actually redesigned the mini? Very important. Ricky said Mia didn't give me anything for my birthday. We talked about this. It was like a week before. I was like, hey, usually we do XYZ for your birthday. We're not doing that this year, so like, didn't we like buy you like normal presents? And he was like, no. What the fuck? Oh, I used a gizmo deformer. You can't do that in Transpose Master. No. Oh. ZBrush. Why? If I can't use deformers in Transpose Mesh, why would you let me use them? Why would, God knows everything else ZBrush is like, you can't do that. You have multiple subdivision levels. But for, oh, God. Please stand by for technical difficulties. I'm just gonna have a small crash out here for just a second. We will resume normally scheduled programming in just a second. Look how proud of it is. It's like, ooh, transfer pose completed. Time taken 15 seconds. Yep, you did a great job. God damn it. Angemia. Oh, I just don't want to do it again. Why? Okay. You cannot use gizmo deformations in Transpose Master. All right. That's going to be the final model. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Don't crash on me too. Come on. Cool. Ooh. But wait, it gets worse. Whoa, what is happening? Stop it. Please relax. All right, ZBrush is having a full meltdown. You can't be more upset than me. Gosh, that's so terrible. Okay. Oh, there's something there. What is happening? All right. Here is the really adorable pose, which looks great. And then here's the abomination that ZBrush was like, yeah? Yeah. No. Ah, the rare sight of facepalm Mia. Yeah. Okay. I don't even know what to do with this. Is it the whole model or is it just this one piece? It's the whole model. Oh, there it is. Okay, how do I fix this? Fuck. Here's what we do. We're gonna delete all of that. We are going to copy this tool, and then we're going to go back to this model when we're not in Transpose Master. Because a lot of Transpose Master was me discovering the pose. So this is fine. Paste tool. There we go. So we have this. I just can't apply it. Can we get a Shift X, please? You can get it now. You definitely couldn't have got it earlier. It won't even treat it like multiple pieces right now. All right, let's split the similar parts. B. There are all the pieces that make up this model. And I will not do it with the other one because the other one is cursed. And it would probably crash my program. Wow, what an awesome sculpt, Mia. You're getting better every day. If someone just joined the stream, it sounds like I'm being such an asshole to you because they didn't see what just happened. Have you tried adding poly paint to fix it? I didn't. Oh, I'm so glad Aloha put this in Discord. Here we go. Just Mia meltdown. Oh, I'm glad that we're all taking screenshots of this. Oh, man. First, you block out and add your forms. Then, when you're happy with it, add details. Wait, I have an emoji for this now. I feel... There we go. Christ. 2 hours of work. My goat. On a real note, though, that pose is lost, but not in in a terrible way, honestly. So the details are lost, but that's fine because I didn't really have any details anyway. Like, oh no, the scribbly knee. It's fine. Why is this called Stage 2? Oh, it was. I guess I did do some changes. All right. So what we can do is not quit. Yeah. I'm going to keep this unposed one in case I ever come back to this character and want to repose it and refuck up my model. But for this one, what we will do is we will merge it down like a peasant, piece by piece, and reconstruct my subtools. I'm being very dramatic about this. This is probably going to take me 3 minutes. It's really not a big deal. I'm even going to name it. Mikey says, what does Shift X do? It just provides like an exploded view of all of your subtools. So see, it explodes. And then it's kind of like an engineering diagram almost. Then you can like label your parts. What's it called? BOM? I can't remember. Bill of materials. That sounds right. Thank you for subscribing, Noelle. Especially if you saw that whole crash out. Cheers. Just Single says, Mia, you said that pose is lost, but maybe you can get it back in quick saves. No. But it's not lost. I'm just being very dramatic. Some of the scribbly detail is lost, and that's it. So the way that Transpose Master works is it takes your... It takes your subtools, it puts them into one piece, and then you can move that one piece around. And then when you're done with it, it will go back and take all those changes and put them on the original pieces. However, I did a gizmo deformation, like twist, while it was all put together. So what you get is this like colossal vertex mismatch issue. Why ZBrush lets you do gizmo deformers or do stuff that you're not allowed to do in Transpose Master is beyond me. It'd be a tiny little bit of script to say you can't delete topology or modify it. You can modify it because you can like sculpt on it and stuff, but like modifications such as deletion of polys or, you know, the gizmo deformations like taper, twist, bend, you can't do that. So yes, bill of materials is correct. Zing, gold star for me. All right, suspenders are good. And the way I can do this very quickly is holding Option on my keyboard. That is Alt on Windows. So when I click on something, you see that it's highlighted, which is very nice. So all I'm doing is clicking on a piece, holding Shift, and there's an arrow your subtools you can put to the bottom of your list. So I just put everything to the bottom really quickly, and then click Merge Down. And are each of these leaves a separate piece? Yes, that's kind of annoying. No matter. Anyway, and then I can merge them down very quickly and kind of reconstruct this. Truly, this will take me about 2-3 minutes. I am just being very dramatic. That's why Aloha knows it's safe to make fun of me, because I work very fast for a 3D artist. So the fact that I crash out over like small inconveniences of time is pretty ridiculous. It's silly. I know it's silly. The rage is real though. It's right there. All right, that's good enough. We'll merge this down as well. And now we have the belt. And that was honestly the hardest part of this to put back together. It is very interesting to see what ZBrush considers to be similar parts. It's somewhat accurate. I'm not sure what its logic is and how that works. It's kind of cool. It kind of goes without saying, but I really like ZBrush. I love the software. I've been using it for years. I feel the need to say that because sometimes I do just complain. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't use it. All right, there we go. We're all put back together. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, we do have 1,000,000 pieces of grass. Let's see how much of that I can merge down and fix. Get out of the way. So I had different options here. I could have reposed the model instead and just recreated the same pose, but I figured this would be a little bit faster, and I was correct. As I always say, details get all the credit, but what's the most important here are these secondary forms. So now that that's done, this won't be that bad. Right now I'm just putting all this grass back together. Funny enough, it was the base that was probably the slowest part to put back together. All right, crisis averted. We're back in business. All right. So Fire says, Mia, I have a confession to make. I couldn't get on with Transpose Master. I went into Blender and said, I'm a better rigger / animator than Transpose Master. I just couldn't get the shape of the pose. You can only use Transpose Master like quickly if you know exactly what line you're going for. Otherwise, it's kind of like this infinite back and forth of like tweak this way and then tweak this way, back and forth, and it can be a vicious loop. I didn't use Transpose Master for a few years. I had to become a much, much better modeler and come back to it. So I hear you. I hear you. I also learned to rig and pose in Blender before I came back to Transpose Master, so who knows? Give it a few more years, you might come back to it. You will not come back to it though if you are already using your rig to make multiple poses. That will still be faster in with a rig. All right, we're gonna add some details, yeah? Let's get detailed. I'm gonna do 15 minutes of detail and kind of see where that puts us. If you guys have a question for me, just put at M3DM in the chat and I'll get to you. If I don't see orange though, I'm gonna miss it. So I can use I can use Gizmo Deformers again now that I am not in Transpose Master mode. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I like that. There's another layer of hat in here, isn't there? What are you? Where are you? You're right here. Okay. Let's make you visible. It's a kind of a tricky move I'm doing right here, covering some of the face. So I'll find a good balance between the two. There we go. Having a layered hat has been so cool. I'm really happy I made that decision early on. And then more moss and more drama is going to be the way. I really want you guys to pay attention to how much of this process has just been me messing with the secondary forms over and over and over again. That's where like the cool stuff happens. Wow, you lose the hat and it's like the whimsy is just gone. Hey Otaka, welcome in. Or back, or hello audio. All right, let's grab these panels here. And we're gonna detail all of these at once. I'm gonna add some thickness to them using dynamic subdiv. I got some funny business going on, but these are rougher pieces anyway, so I'm not too pressed about it. I'm gonna go with my smooth brush with min connected point set to 1. Make sure you're holding shift when you change min connected points, otherwise it doesn't work. I didn't know that until recently helping a student, and I was like, why isn't this working for you? There we go. So I'm just kind of cleaning up any funny business here. Well, other than ZBrush blowing up my model when I posed, we're doing pretty good here. Pretty happy. All right, let's get some detail. I have all kinds of cool stitches I can use for that. Ooh, depending how I layer this, I can make it look like spores and like mushroom folds. Mushroom folds. There's a word I'm looking for here, and I don't know what it is. Let's turn on backface mask. And let's enable lazy radius a little bit more. Lazy radius just pretty much smooths out my strokes. There we go. I'm going to do this on the outsides. Interesting that went through the model there. That might mean something later. I don't know what it means right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. That can be a problem for later, Mia, if it ends up being a problem. I don't like how pixelated this is, despite how high the density is. So I'm going to delete lower, auto groups, and then Dynamesh with groups enabled. We don't need 2 million polys. There we go. It didn't keep my groups. Try again. There we go. This is the exact same resolution as before, but now it works a lot better because the layout of the polys has been improved. I'm gonna just kind of throw this on here. And then what I'm gonna do is use snake hook to vary the edge. I know it kind of just looks like a funny little mess right now. Just trust the process. All right, go in with snake hook. Let's see if it has a meltdown because I'm high poly. I think it's gonna be good to me. Yeah, it is. Heck yeah. So right now I'm just varying the size of the edge using snake hook and being very, very careful. You don't want to grab tiny little pieces like this because it makes it a 3D printing nightmare. So I'm just varying the edge. This works very well for shredded fabric as well. And even if you want a much more realistic look, this is not a bad first step. we're gonna add some strong fabric folds. I'm not really clear on what kind of fabric this is, but I like how it looks, so I'm not too pressed about it. This is not a fancy fabric fold brush. This is just standard. That's it. I guess I modified it by enabling lazy radius. I usually have lazy radius set to around 30. But that's just a comfort thing. You can set it to whatever you want. A lot of professional artists that are like more senior than I am, I see them use lazy radius set to like 100, like this. That is so crazy. That would drive me nuts. But they all do it. And I'm not so arrogant to think that there's not a good reason for it. When I use it, it makes my lines even more wobbly. So I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm sure I will come back to it and it will all make sense one day. Check that out. I think that looks incredible. There's so much rich like folds and details there. It's gonna pick up a wash really well. Really happy with this. Bread. Are we doing the bread instead of the cheese? Probably. We haven't gotten to it yet, but we will soon. Could someone get a nice picture of a loaf of bread in Tavern Chronicles for me to reference? Just one. I mean, you can put as many as you want, I guess, but I only need one. Like a classic, like sourdough looking loaf. That's what I need. So for this, it's a cool belt. You know what make it even cooler? More layers. So what I'm gonna do is divide it a few times, delete lower, duplicate the whole belt, and now I'm going to use my move brush and kind of just do some fun layer work. I did decrease the size of this layer just so it reads a little better. I'm really just not gonna worry too much about the back of the model because it's already got a lot going for it. I have the humor of a 12-year-old boy. Okay. Up and over, up and over. There we go. It just adds a little bit of visual interest. It already looks so much nicer. And now I'm going to Dynamesh it so the polys are laid down a little bit better. And what I mean by that is like, I find this is a little harder to add tons of detail to versus this mess. This does better than this. All right, and now that I have that, I want a texture that's gonna stand out well. So I have a couple options. My first default is seeing how this will play. Oh yeah, that's gonna be plenty. That's gonna do great. What I was gonna try if this didn't work was the rake brush. I find that does quite well. I'm gonna texture this the same way as, or I'm gonna texture the suspenders the same way as this. Here we go. I almost ended the stream and I was like, you know what, I'll just detail this later. And then I was like, this is the easy part. Let's just do it now. It's because this model's been a lot of work and a lot of fun, right? And I forgot that I'm kind of just coasting right now. I'm like, oh wait, this is the easy fun part. I'm being careful though, Aloha. No burnout. Gonna add some lovely mushroomy texture here using the soft brush and kind of layering these shapes up. This is the flipped normal soft brush. It is just like clay, but a little bit more textured. You do not need to buy any brushes. You don't have to buy brushes. I buy brushes because I've been doing this for almost 10 years and it just makes my day feel a little different. All right, I've kind of laid down some more texture here And then for some much more interesting shapes, I'm going to use one of the default brushes, which is Chisel Creature, I think. Ooh, hiding truffles in his beard. I would love that. Can I get some references of truffles in the chat too, please? I'll put that up here. Yay, look at this beautiful sourdough. Awesome, I'll sculpt one of those too. Contrast slider, because always contrast slider. I guess I'll move the cheese. He'll get demoted to the floor. Cheese foot. Why am I thinking of the cheese touch? What is that? What was that from? That's some dumb kid thing. I can't remember. All I remember is the cheese touch. I don't know. Alright, so for texturing the beard, we're going to go in with the soft brush as well. We're going to isolate certain sections and figure out some sort of layering pattern that I like. Again, I don't like how the poly distribution was. So we're going to Dynamesh with groups. I don't want 6 million points. How was that? That's acceptable. All right, let's see what kind of texture I want. I don't like that. Yuck. Stop it. There we go. I wanted to have the whole beard visible, so I try to avoid working like this, where I just have this blob I'm working on. You guys can't tell what's going on, but that's just what it turns out to be. I tried. Otaka says, I've spoken too soon, but now I have audio, I promise. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That was the cheese touch. I didn't like Diary of a Wimpy Kid at all, but they played it like during some weird pizza party event that we had, so we all had a... That's why I know what it is, and that's why I don't remember it, because I didn't like it. I remember being a kid and thinking, I'm a little too old for this. Yeah. Thanks, Aloha. I didn't like it. So I'm kind of just adding these clusters of shape, but I don't know if that's really going to mean anything. I'm thinking, I'm like, is this shape texture going to be interesting and read well for the character? I think so. I think it will. A really good secondary form here will be those truffles that I might add. This Myconid has like no mushrooms on it, so those are definitely coming. Oh, it's been 15 minutes. Ooh, I got a lot done. That's why I set a timer. So it has nothing to do with I need to be productive in the next 15 minutes. It's just so I don't sculpt something for an hour and I completely lose track of time, because then I don't like drink water and breathe and it's a whole ordeal. So that's why I set the timer. I don't want you guys thinking that you need to be setting timed goals for yourself. You don't have to do that. That's not what I'm doing. Well, this is looking cool. It's not blob, it's truffle shaped. Oh my gosh, it is truffle shaped. Wait. It totally is. Oh my goodness, I intentionally did that. Cool, cool, cool. Well, I'm really pleased about that. That was intentional. A truffle beard. How cool. All right, I need to fix these hands because they're really starting to bother me. Hand, I just need to add like a fist. This will do. Also, if you are new or if you just need a reminder, this is where we started the stream. We are coming up on 3 hours on the stream. This is where we started. We've had lots of mishaps and fun. I don't need this anymore. I don't think. I shouldn't delete things if I don't remember why I kept them. So I will keep it. We're gonna Dynamesh this hand and make it more blob. And that's gonna replace this terrible hand that I smooshed around, which was just a placeholder. Sculpting hands for each character when it's generic stuff like a fist, it's not worth it. Unless you have a passion for it, do whatever you want. But otherwise, just make a library of hands. I also have a collection of heads, you know? Like, that one sounds more morbid though. Anyway, just have a collection of different body parts. This isn't working. It's fine to have a library of assets that you pull from. I think it might look more relaxed just holding it here. Yeah, I like that better. Are we ready to sculpt a loaf of bread? Would you like some truffle on your pasta? Shaves beard. Yeah. Otaka says, I didn't even look at the model. Looks super nice. I like when the mob of peasants goes home for the evening and it's chill ones left in the back, right? Me too. I'm shocked that that's 20 now. That number is still growing, but yeah, that's really cool. All right, for this loaf of bread, let me grab a reference and we'll get cooking. All right, I'm gonna scroll up here. That's not bread. See. This is more so the quintessential. These two especially. Okay. We'll go with this shape. All right. But the bread lines on the top are really good. All right. That looks very loafy. We're going to trim the bottom. Dynamesh again. And I'm going to turn on symmetry for the back as well, which I believe is Z. Yep. There we go. So that's our base bread shape. We're going to make it a little more loafy. And now we're going to cut these sections out. More loafy. I'm going to use the slash brush, which I think is going to be perfect for this. Oh, yeah. Ooh, I just threw my AirPod in my ear. Anyway, me trying to grab it in midair didn't work. That's gonna be perfect, I think. How am I gonna do these little details on the side? Those are so cool too. I know how to do them in real life. It'd just be a knife. You do a bunch of little cuts and then they kind of... This looks like a mimic loaf. This doesn't look like cute. Yeah. I agree. Don't want this to be a mimic loaf. Okay. It's now its face. Its head is now sourdough. Mimic loaf. No. We're going to use the soft brush and do a better job. I need this to have texture. thinking. It's gonna need the horizontal lines too for it to read. Get in my ear. Very quickly, I was like, oh, this loaf of bread's gonna be a lot of work actually. So I need to figure out what's going to translate it the best without becoming its whole own project. Not that I don't love doing that, but that's not the point right now. What is the brush she's using to make the bread cuts? Slash, and this one's Orb Cracks. It's like the same thing as Damn Standard, honestly. It's never that I'm trying to like keep secrets. It's just that I don't want you guys thinking that brushes are the way. If I just use this brush, because it's not true. Why am I being so picky about these? Because they look so pretty on the bread, but then when I try to like throw them on here, it's very difficult. Oh, I kind of did it. Also, it's not really what they are. Let me think about what's happening. Okay. If I instead draw them on and then inset them, that's more so what's happening. There we go. There we go. I understand now. Just up, down, just gonna throw these on here really quick. I don't know why it's pivoting out in the middle of nowhere. That's really annoying. Every now and then ZBrush does that, and you reset it by drawing a mask, but for some reason it's like, no. This looks like a giant baked potato. Yeah, that'd be Slash. That'd be the Slash brush. Very cool. Oops. Potato bread, right? That's exactly what it looks like. I am fussing over this bread, guys. I don't think I like the sourdough. I don't think I like how this is weirdly difficult to get the shape to translate small. So instead, I'm going to opt for the other kind of bread, which is going to be square bread. We're gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And a little bit of this. Why aren't you dynameshing? There. There we go. Every now and then you can see it on my face where I'm like, why aren't you working? I get all serious. Add a little bit of texture, and then I'm gonna add these slashes to it so it reads really simple, like a little loaf of bread. Oh, those were way too dramatic. It's the same kind of thing. It looks like a split. There's one, there's one. They're not very uniform when I do them. That way is easy, and then that. The slash brush is directional, and it is tricky right now. That's good. I really think that's gonna read better. I know this looks funny on the bottom, but in his hand, especially, it's gonna make more sense. Yep. I knew it. I don't even think I need the bottom piece, actually. Do you guys have different names for bread, too? Like roll, back? loaf tea cake. I lived in Yorkshire for a bit, and there was a lot of bread-shaped debates around sandwiches. Aren't I kidding? And yes we do. There we go. That looks more like a bread. That's really cute. That's awesome. I'm pretty happy with this. Get a little more detail on the arms, which just need a little bit of love and a little bit of shaping. Let's get an elbow in there. You can tell I'm like very roughly blocking out shapes in my classic, somewhat scribble-like formation. There we go. That's pretty cool. I'm really happy with how the detailing of this is going. His hand looks two-hand and not lumpy enough, so I'm just gonna smooth and inflate a little bit and then make the hand larger. Looks more like a big mitten, which is perfect. I love the pose. I just think the little like sway is so cute. We'll need a more detailed layer. If you want an area to look super detailed, the answer is never blanketing the entire model in a bunch of detail. It's finding little pockets to kind of add a bunch, and then your brain kind of almost fills in the rest. I don't like how that turned out, so I will just undo it and then try again. I'm trying to get like a certain kind of texture here. There we go. I do like that it kind of seems to have some movement to it, but I don't want it to look, you know, gravityless. He's so fun. It'd be kind of funny if I added the same bread marks on his belly that's on that's on the bread. Not as exaggerated maybe, but just like a subtle similarity. I think this little stitch layer will look really cool. So I'm going to Dynamesh this. I'm gonna keep that weird overlap that happened because I think it benefits the model. We're gonna add this crease detail. There we are. That's pretty cool. This little section that got tall, I'll just kind of sneak down there. It's a little hard to smooth out just because it's kind of high resolution. I can't tell you guys how many DMs I've gotten from students telling me my smooth brush doesn't work. And I'm like, it does. You just have 20 million polys. Probably won't add too much more detail. I just want it to be like a big improvement from where we were. I guess we passed that point a while ago. It's been improved. See, I didn't set a timer. Can I offer you a loaf in these trying times? I love that. I love that. There's always craziness, you know, in the world and the news and stuff, but I think we're so much more in tuned and dialed into it than ever before. And that can be a lot. So I'm really glad to hang out with you guys and kind of just not worry about it. Our concern here for the last 3 hours has been, do you know the Mushroom Man? And I think it's safe to say that we do now. We do now know the Mushroom Man. I love him. I am so happy with this model. I think I saw in the Discord somewhat recently that someone was asking about how to sculpt wisteria. I can't remember who it was, but if that person's in the chat right now, can you make noise and I can explain how to do that? I guess make noise. Can you just make yourself heard? If not, I won't worry about it. But I could have swore it was a regular. I just didn't have time to answer it when I saw the question. I also do much better answering on stream than otherwise. That is me. It was you. All right. Oh, also, all collector's crates are packaged up. They're shipping tomorrow. Thank you, honey. Oh, Ricky, you're so awesome. Okay, wisteria. First, bear with me here. Thought experiment. Because I know you know a lot now. Think about the way that painters paint stuff. They don't detail, I mean, some of them do, but they don't draw every individual leaf, right? So if they were gonna do a wisteria tree, they'd paint the trunk, they'd paint the branches, and then with a new color, obviously, they'd go on top of that, and they would probably just block out a big purple smear, essentially. And then they go in with a darker purple and start layering where the shadows would be. And then finally, some highlights, some pinks, some whites, you know, to kind of highlight the glistening of because wisteria is so pretty, right? Think of the same thing when you're sculpting. So you're gonna do a blob. It's a little more challenging with wisteria because it's not just a normal tree blob, you know? It's more like tubes. But do it the same way. Make those tubes a little noisy, kind of like how I did this Mushroom Man here, kind of like add some, go through with your clay brush, and then make some wisteria petals. Make one, and then kind of clump them up the same way I did like the wall mushrooms, and then duplicate that throughout these clumps. Not uniformly and only in certain areas. If you do it uniformly, it's gonna look really weird. So that's wherever you're drawing the focus of the tree, because even a tree sculpt will have a focal point. Maybe it's where an interesting tree split or branch, or maybe like your wisteria tree is gonna arc upwards. Wisteria is weird because it's not actually a tree, it's a vine that grows on stuff, which makes it complicated. I didn't know that until I lived in Tennessee, and I'm like, well, how is there wisteria everywhere? What is it? It's just a vine, which is very confusing. But there you go, that should help. Hello, Basement Man, thank you for this news. Awesome. Ricky, you're the best. All right, let's put away the bread. Let's get this guy going. Merge visible. There we go. Well, I'd say this was a huge success. How freaking fun. Let's go ahead and stage this up. I'm really proud of this. And we'll go back to our different stages. So we have our stage 1, which has charm. I'm trying to make it as big as I can. And then stage 2, I'm gonna hide the paddle for this one. There we go. Awesome. All right. I think that's a wrap. I think this came out incredible. What a fun freaking stream. Have I saved recently? I don't have to. I'm above saving. That should be really helpful. Good, 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 good. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This was a blast. Thank you guys for buying the collector's crate. That's huge. I feel like one person did it, they announced it, and then it trickled down, which is just really sweet and really appreciated. You forgot the real stage 3. I think I did. That's okay. I am very proud of this for 3 hours. My goodness. I get really in my head when it comes to streaming for some reason. I feel like I need to be really prepared because I look at what I do at the end and I think it's so cool, and then like I go forward to do it again and I get kind of nervous. I get kind of intimidated by my past work, if that makes sense. Not because I think it's just so breathtaking. I don't know, it intimidates me. So what I'm saying is you guys can positive peer pressure me into streams. I cannot believe we had like 20 people all day today. That's incredible. I only need to, if I hit double digits on a stream, amazing. Amazing. So what I'm trying to say is you guys can positive peer pressure me. Bored on a Wednesday, hoping that I stream around noonish. You can say that in Discord. I'm like Beetlejuice. I can be summoned if 3 people go M3DM strem. It does work, genuinely. It makes me excited. And it kind of like just gets me out of my own head. So, yes. Just letting you guys know you have the power. Obviously, it's not your job. I will stream as often as I can. I like streaming, and it's a goal of mine as well to get back to lots of streams. Twice a week is cool, but I like lots of streams. So yes. With that note of encouraging my community to positively peer pressure me, care about you guys a lot. Continue being fantastic peasants. The tavern is officially closing, so get out.